ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Well, hey, beautiful people. Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon. I'm so excited to be here with you today. You're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network, or you're watching us over here on YouTube. I hope you're subscribed, like, comment, find us, follow me at Robert M. Bannon. We are so excited on the Roundtable every day to give you a taste of art, the best of Broadway, the best of television, the best of recorded music, movies, dance, choreography, directors. We give you a little bit of everything. It's where artists come to talk about art. And today we have an artist that I've loved to see on stage and on Broadway and regionally. I've seen a lot of work that our guest Anthony Wayne has done. Sometimes you got to go support art. And sometimes that means going to a cabaret, or sometimes that means going to a regional production, or sometimes that means going to the movie theater. Well, Anthony has done regional work. Anthony has been an advocate. Anthony has created work. Anthony has toured with work. And Anthony is now doing a show all about himself at one of our favorite venues in New York City, a place where I recorded an album. You can get the information. Go listen to my album called Rewind by Robert Bannon, wherever music is heard, recorded at Green Room 42. And Anthony's going to be at Green Room 42. So everybody hold on to your hats, because Broadway star Anthony Wayne makes his Roundtable debut. So I remember the first time I saw Anthony Wayne, I think it was Once on this Island, Tootsie. I even saw him Joy in Jersey, deep in the cut of Jersey, y'all. Come on, QVC, HSN, cowboy songs in a bar. I saw Anthony Wayne do it. But when I see Anthony Wayne, what I see and what I admire most about his career is that Anthony is not just waiting for the audition. He's not just waiting for somebody to say, yes, get on my Broadway stage. Anthony has created work. So, if it's Sylvester, which has been everywhere, and you have to hear him sing You Are My Friend. Oh, come on, people. I have receipts. I know the Anthony Wayne career. I brought the receipts. Anthony Wayne comes to Green Room 42 with a show all about him. Welcome to the show. You are here.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Robert.
Anthony, from your Christmas shows to Phyllis Hyman to Sylvester, you have created your own line of original work here in New York that has gone around the country. You do not wait for the yes.
That's correct. That's correct.
And not only, before we get talking about your show coming to Green Room 42, you've also been an advocate for theater. You have been on boards. You have stood up and spoken out about what it's like to be an artist in this world, which is not always easy.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. Especially at this time. No, but we're doing some work and have done the work. So there's more work to be done. So I'm excited.
So my question for you is, why do you not take the easy road? You could be sitting back, just living life, but you choose to create, you choose to produce, you choose to advocate and be a voice. You give jobs, you pay money to other actors to be in your shows. Why is that important?
Well, it's important because we have to continue to speak from our heart and share the kind of light that we have. That's what I call it. Like, for the light that we have within, it's really more about sharing it and being a vessel. Marvin Hamlish and Ed Cleveland wrote a long time ago in What I Did for Love. One of the things that I live by is the gift was ours to borrow. And so it's for us to take it, use it, do what we have to do and share it so that others can take it and use it and do what they have to do and share it. So, yeah.
You better have a chorus line moment, and like this chorus line moment,
oh,
oh as Richie in a chorus line. Anthony, where did you start your career? Where are you originally from? And when did you decide, like, I'm a show person, let's go?
Oh my God, I was a kid. I was 5 years old in Norfolk, Virginia. And thank you for asking, by the way. I was 5 years old in Norfolk, Virginia. I was kicking my leg in my living room, watching Adrian Bailey and just a bunch of people who were in the Wiz VHS. I was watching the VHS, and I knew that that's where I wanted to be. Then I watched the Tony Awards, and I would see people that are colleagues now performing. And I would was like, wow, I need to be there. And so I would write little things on the wall on my little piece of paper. I would write, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be on Broadway. I'm going to go to the Governor's School for the Performing Arts. I'm going to go to Trinity. I'm going to go to a college, and just all these things that I had written on the wall, not knowing that I was manifesting what was going to happen in my life. So that's kind of where it came from. And then there was a children's theater in Norfolk, Virginia called the Center Stage. there was a few of them. There was Center Stage with this woman named Marjorie Walker. There was the Norfolk Public Schools Performing Arts Repertory with this woman named Connie Hindmarsh. There was Hurrah Players with Hugh Copeland. There was and then there was the Governor's School for the Arts with Chip Gallagher and Jeff Meredith. Jeff does, you know what I'm talking about. But either way, it was a lot of people pouring into me, and I didn't know that they were pouring into me, and I was just being a sponge. So that's where it came from. And then I went to Shenandoah University and got my BFA in musical theater. And then even during the summers, I would do things like I would work at Busch Gardens. I would take class at the Alvin Ailey School. I would go to Gus Dordano Jazz Day in Chicago. I was just soaking it in. Then I was meeting friends and people that I didn't know were going to be with me for the rest of my life. And that's how the trajectory.
And now it's how many Broadway? It's a bunch of Broadway shows.
People ask that. I've done 6 Broadway shows. I get kind of bashful talking about it.
No, please come on. We love Tina. We love Tootsie. We love Island. We love the body of work. I will brag about it if you don't want to brag about it, because
you were supposed
it's 6 more than I.
I mean, I have to say, go ahead.
Between us, we have 6 Broadway shows.
That's hilarious. But I mean, I remember the first one. I didn't even know that I was gonna get it. It was Anything Goes with Kathleen Marshall and Sutton Foster and Joe Gray, and so that was 2011. So yeah, it shifted the whole trajectory of my life. But I mean, I had done some tours before then. I did a chorus line tour, and I did the first National of the Color Purple, the first one. So I had experience and what have you, but living in New York was the goal. So, and it happened. So I'm just really grateful. Really grateful.
Well, we had a Tootsie moment. With the cast of Tootsie, I talked about Joy before, and this cast of Joy under the crossroads.
Oh, look at Erica. Yes, that was a journey. That was during COVID. So.
That was during Erica came on here. I shipped on down to Jersey to see the show, and you all better be live. You always live, Anthony.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we was living. We were making it.
What I love this. I love Sylvester, and I love Mighty Real. And I think that Sylvester is such an important figure in the queer community. I think he's underrated. He's more than just that song. He is more than just, what we know. And I mean, Martha Wash was on this show. I mean, we talked about, like, honored to have people like that. How did the idea come for this?
Well, I was working with my producer partner at the time, Kendra Bowman. And so I had written a premise of the show, because before I got on Broadway in 2010, I got on Broadway in 2011. In 2010, I was writing shows right when I got off the road with the chorus line. And I had started writing these concert shows at the Triad with this gentleman named Lee Summers. And I just started writing the structure of songs, and then kind of put in like my life story around it, kind of songs that I love, songs that told stories. And so this one day I was watching TV One on a show called Unsung, and they did a special about Sylvester. And so when I watched it, I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. So I started listening to his music and started thinking about just listen to his music. And I was driving to Virginia to see my mother, and a friend of mine, Trent Armand Kendall, he was on the course of Color Purple with me. And I remember telling him about Sylvester. I was like, somebody needs to do a movie or a musical or something about him. And he was like, well, Queen, you the one, why don't you do it? And I said, oh, because he was already writing a show of his own called Picture Incomplete, and he's since passed. But that was when I got the motivation to say, wow, you can kind of do it yourself. So he was kind of an inspiration to me about that. And so I started taking the structure of what I did for those concert shows and decided to do it for Sylvester. But Anything Goes that came along, so I started doing that. And then I did Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And then when I got into that show, literally Jackie and Stacy and Lisa at the time, they came down and they were singing It's Raining Men. And me and my producer partner were like, oh my God, it's Kismet. And so, because I had already told him about what I wanted to do. And by that point, I joined the show. And then the demographic of people who would come to see Priscilla knew Sylvester and were all like inundated with his life. And so we decided to do a concert July 29th, 2012 at Le Poisson Rouge in the Village. And it was a small little space underground. And we sold tickets for like $10, $15, maybe $20 at the most. And just had people just come, and we're just going to do a night of his music and tell a story. And people came, and they just wouldn't stop coming. So they want us to do it again and again and again. And so someone asked us to take it to DC. So we did it at the Warner Theater. And then from then we started understanding the idea of producing. And then we began to talk about the bigger picture. And by this time I was in Pippin on Broadway. And so I left Pippin to go do the show. And it was literally down the street on the same street. Because we found that we did a Kickstarter, we just raised some money. And by this point, we had found my second mother, Cheryl Lee Ralph, who was really special. And so with her advocacy of making people understand to eliminate the stigma of HIV and AIDS and her Diva Foundation, we all three came together and just produced it and started creating the Mighty Real of Fabulous Sylvester Musical. So that was it. We did it off Broadway in 2014 and toured around the country for about like 3-4 years. And it's still in development. There were people who wanted to bring it on Broadway in 2018, but then there was just some work that we had to do on it. And then the temperature just wasn't right. Like nobody was talking about trans rights and, non-binary conversation wasn't happening. And so it was a very hot topic for people to want to invest in. But now it's a totally different story. So we're preparing it for something very soon.
I'm ready because I've heard about it. I have seen the ads. I have fanned out about it, but I have never seen it. So you need to come on down, take the sequins out, Anthony. Let's go.
Yeah, the big red pumps and the sequins. Yeah, it'll come. I think for me, it's similar to what we were talking about advocacy. It's bigger than just the high notes and the shoes and the glitz and the glamour. It's really about educating people about HIV and AIDS, but also celebrating a true man's story, and to let people know that they, that there was somebody before them who was living in their truth. And so we inspire people to live in their truth. So people speak of it as if it just happened. And so it means a lot to know that. It means it was impactful. And so that's the kind of work that I choose to do, even with the show that I'm doing on Monday, even with Black Broadway Men, my nonprofit.
So listen, and if you don't know enough about Sylvester, and I'm a LaBelleista, but you have to listen to You Are My Friend. That version, that live version, is one of the most heartfelt, emotional, beautiful things. And in your show, in this show, just be a part of it and stay on. If you want to follow Anthony, so you could stay up to date, go to Instagram, Mr. A. Wayne, at Mr. A. Wayne, so you can stay up to date. And that leads us to Monday night, people. I love the Green Room 42 because you can get a little artisan pizza and a drink and have a little moment. Then you sit on the rooftop afterwards and you have a kiki time, and you get tickets at greenroom42.com. You're going to be doing this show is just you, Anthony Wayne, live. Just me, Anthony Wayne, live. What are you going to do? You're not dressed up as Sylvester. You're not doing Christmas. You're not doing Broadway. What is the Anthony Wayne live, just me show?
Well, you speak of the other shows, and I was doing that with my producing partner at the time. There was a Christmas show that we have called A Soul for Christmas, and we also were doing the Phyllis Hyman musical, and we were also doing another thing called Kings and Queens of Soul. So we were like celebrating everybody else and other people and just kind of uplifting different stories. And for some time recently, over the past couple of years, as I was working on my nonprofit, I realized that the impact is what you share with people and what they take away. And so what I was also realizing that a lot of people wanted me to put on the red pumps and the white suit and sing high, and they wanted me to sing Sylvester everywhere, which is fantastic. But there was a part of me one time that was like, well, is there any way that I can just go out and sing Sylvester as me? And it seemed like that wasn't something that was going to work, because people wanted to see Sylvester. It would have seemed like I was singing that way for real. And so so there was a yearning of wanting to create something that was my voice. And I didn't know what that was or what that was going to be. So then I started talking to my director. His name is Rufus Bonds Jr. Rufus used to be Mufasa in The Lion King years ago. He was my Mister in the Color Purple tour, and he's been around for a long time. He's very well known and very good. And so I was talking to him back in 2018, or even 2019, 2020. And I was like, I want to write something. I don't know what it's going to be. And he was like, well, I'm here if you ever need some guidance. I said, okay, cool. So the years passed. I went through some life stuff, family stuff, relationships. Relationship things. And, and a little hurt, little pain, little issues and problems that make you you. And so there was a point where I was like, man, I had to live life a little bit. So you find yourself taking off the costumes, taking off the mask, taking off the characters that are made for you. And then you wonder to yourself, who are you? And so I did the work to actually really feel that part of me that needed to heal and needed to yearn. And so, Just Me, Anthony Wayne Live, is an experience of me sharing some stories through song and encouraging people to understand that just you is more than enough. Because it took me a long time to recognize that. I think a lot of times I was validated by people who liked how I looked, or liked how I said, like how I sang, or like what I talked about, or looked how I dated, or was intimate with them, or what have you. Like, I was really excited about the applause, about the validation of people. And I think a lot of times us as artists, we get so caught up in that you find yourself, when it's all gone, what do you have and how are you pouring into yourself? So this show shares that through some incredible songs, through fun. It's an 8-piece band. So we have bass, guitar, drum, percussion. We have piano and keyboard. We have a trombone, a trumpet, and a saxophone. And then we have 2 background singers. So I wanted a full band to give a full experience. And so that's what you're going to get. And it's going to be a fun night. So come out to Green Room 42 and come see. Oh, wait, I got the little thing here to come see it. Yeah, Just Me, Anthony Wayne Live.
Green Room 42, 8-piece band, 2 singers. Anthony Wayne does not like to make money. He likes to give his money.
That's hilarious.
But I get that. But you do it because I do cabaret, you do cabaret, like this you do it because you love it. You have something to tell. No one is retiring off of their cabaret check. Nobody is. You're doing it because you have a story to share. You know what really touched me? A lot of times people think that when you have a career on Broadway, or you get to tour the world, or you get to sing, or famous people, or you are known in the community, that tucks you in at night, that is your life. And what people don't realize is that there's a real life behind that costume, behind that curtain, behind your show. And a lot of the times it took me so long to value the other things that are really important. We're so focused on the gig and the job and the check. And and at some point, you got to just be who you are. And that's more than enough.
Just you, darling. And if you don't do that work, then you're going to walk around here looking crazy, trying to figure out who's going to validate me. And so I'm excited. I mean, actually, this show, there were times I would go to cabarets at, certain spaces, like at Green Room 42 or 54 Below or the Triad or wherever. And there were people who were singing songs, but it didn't mean anything to them. They were just singing because they could. Like, they sounded fantastic. They looked fantastic. But I was like, what are you singing about? You sound crazy. That's what I would say. I would talk to my friends. I'd be like, this sound good, but what are they singing about? And it just doesn't have any weight, any substance. And then there's no through line. It just doesn't make sense. And so everything that I find myself doing at this point, even with friends, even with family, even in dating, is with purpose. It's like, how are we using our time in a way that's fruitful and valuable? And so I don't want anyone to come to this show and feel like they just heard me singing and that's it. Like, no, each song has a purpose. Each song was specifically picked for a reason. And there's a through line, there's a moment, and it means something. So this is not just a cabaret performance, it is a cabaret experience.
Okay.
So, it's like a cabaret musical, if you will. And that's what I wanted it to be, something that you could remember, something that you could walk away with and say, wow, I had a good experience and I learned something about myself, as well as learning something about Anthony that will encourage and inspire me.
Yes, he's not singing his book, everybody. He has a story.
I could, but I'm not.
But so how did you find these songs? Like, do you make the story first or do you put the songs first? Like, it's my $1,000,000 question about people that do this. Like, are you, index cards on a mirror, putting the songs together? How do you find what works to tell the story?
Good question. It's the book. It's the story. It's the root of why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing and you make the story fit the song, then you're kind of like cookie cuttering how you want people to feel. It is not for us to experience, it's for us to be. It is for the audience to have the experience. So if you give them the template of what it is, like the root of a good, like the meat of what you want to share, then everything else will come. So to answer your question, I started writing the script first. And it was all in pieces. Rufus and I sat for hours and hours and hours and just talked about what could be, and talked about, talked about my life and where I've gone through and the hurt, the pain, the anger, the joy, the light, the things that was taken away from me, the things I didn't get, the things I did get, and all those things. And at this age, I have no problem sharing my age. I'm 43. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But at this age, at this big age, you find yourself, having gone through experiences that you can either share or you can keep to yourself. And so I tried to find an artistic way to share it in some way that was organic and fruitful and healthy for me. And I also wanted to wait till the timing was right. So I walked around trying to find a space. And when I got to Green Room 42, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. This is nice. And then also there's no 2-drink minimum type foolishness. So, people don't feel pressured to have to buy a $9 ginger ale,
Two, right.
Oh, two of them. Now you done pay $20, but you also paid $20 to get in the door. It's like, my God, you just spent damn near $50 before you walked out. Now you got to tip somebody. It's a lot. It's too much going on.
There's no minimum at Green Room 42. They have it's recently redone. It's beautiful space. Like I said, afterwards you can hang out. They don't kick you out. There's no cover charge to hang out after the show. There's no nonsense and tomfoolery over at the Green Room 42.
Right. So I mean, they've treated me well. They're very clear about the work and about what needs to get done, how to do it. And what I've done though is one thing I've learned is specifically after producing so many shows, I've decided to let other people do things.
It's okay.
It is okay to let other people do things, but as a leader, it is very clear on when I gather people if they have the skills to do the things they need to do. It's very clear. Like my director directs, and he's a very great director. My stage manager is a great stage manager, and I let her stage manage. She's a production. Nia, she's fantastic. Nia Blizzard. And then my musical director, Richard Baskin Jr., he's fantastic. I just allow him to take the music and find the band and do that work. And then my general manager, his name is Brandon Brooks. I just allow him to take care of all the things that he be taken care of. But I oversee all of it. I do make sure that it is all, so it's like executive produced by me. But I do make sure that I allow them to do what they have to do, because now I'm in a space specifically this week of just focusing on the book of what we're just talking about, the storytelling of it. We have our first meeting, this is going to air. So we have our first rehearsal today. And so we're going to be doing all the rehearsal with all of the band. And so they have all the information. So we're going to put it together. We have another rehearsal on Friday. And then we have soundcheck on Monday, and it's a wrap. So it's going to be
do a show.
I mean, to be honest, I was inspired. You didn't ask the question, but I was inspired by Lena Horne, the lady in her music. It's very much along those lines.
Okay.
Hugh Jackman, the boy from Oz.
Yes.
Very much like that. Very much Cheetah, Rivera, and all that jazz.
Yes.
That idea of your storytelling and everybody singing around you, and there's a story, but it means something. So there's no dancing here because the stage is but there are plans. There are plans to take it further, to have a full orchestra. There are plans to do it in other places, other cities around the country. potentially, like, even if it has to be on like cruise ships or other cities or other, but I don't know, but it's packaged in a way where it can be done like this or like that. And so I'm grateful to do that. And other things will live on, like the Sylvester show, the Phyllis Hyman show, or what have you. I mean, I'm also doing some other shows too. I'm auditioning for other things that will
Oh,
be
I know.
announced very soon.
I know. He keeps a job, and, and you better go to work. And we got to follow you, because we got to know when those other jobs come along. We got to know when these shows that you've produced come along. You pick. What I love about your work, the other work that you've produced, if it's Sylvester or Phyllis Hyman, is that you don't take the obvious choice, but they're choices that need to be told. This is not the we need to know. Phyllis Hyman's story is tragic and beautiful and one of the
Mm,
greatest voices of all time, but people don't know it. Sylvester, one of the most iconic, trailblazing artists, but people don't know it. And you could
mhm.
do this, the run of the mill regular show, but you choose to do the work and and teach the story. And I know that your show is going to do the same thing. The vulnerability about you doing the Anthony Wayne Just You show has got to be different than when you play characters.
It is because um, hmm, I am a very sensitive person. I'm very public, but I'm very, very private. I'll tell people that. I don't really keep a whole lot of people around. I don't really go a whole lot of places. I go very specific places. I'm very knowledgeable about energy, and I'm very discerning when I get close to people. Even when it comes to like simple things like hugging someone or like getting close to somebody, things like that. I used to be very much like, oh my God, back when I first got on Broadway, on Broadway bands, I was like, yes, yes. But now I'm like, oh my God, oh, oh. But I only do that because you have to find a healthy boundary to take care of yourself. And I think because we give so much, as an artist, we give so much and we spend so much of our time cracking ourselves open and being other people and just using the emotions that we have. And so you have to kind of replenish yourself and kind of pour back into you.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out what that is for you without anything by yourself. And so this night, August the 5th, Monday night at 7 o'clock at Green Room 42. Thank you. Or you can go to MrAwayne.com.
Oh,
One of the
yes,
two.
you can.
Yes. But Green Room it's a special place that night. It's going to be a beautiful moment full of friends and family and chosen family and people that I don't know, people that I've seen, things I've done. And like I said, I get a little bashful because to me, it's I understand that people enjoy the shows that I've done or have seen me on stage. And I appreciate the support. I really, really do. It means so much. I mean, I talk to people on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm like, thank you so much. But I also want them to just see me. And so this is a time and a chance to share that. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm excited. I think I have to come see it. I think I'm in. Let's go. Come on. I think we need to go see the show.
Come
Folks,
on through.
come on through. We got it. Just me, Anthony Wayne live. Monday. You're listening to us this week over the weekend. Monday, just get your ticket. Come on down. Come see the show. Follow Anthony. Go to his website. Go get tickets. Greenroom42.com.
Yeah, you can go to Mr. A Wayne, that's MrAwayne.com. Or you can, if you want to know about Sylvester, you can go to MightyRealSylvester.com. You got Soul for Christmas, you can do all that. But at the end of the day, just come on, follow me on Instagram, Mr. A Wayne.
Yes, come on. I'm a fan. I've been a fan. I've watched. I've said, hey, I love what you all are doing in the past. I'm a fan of what you do. I have to give you major props because you're an inspiration. You go, you create, you work, and you do it right. So
Yeah,
thank
I appreciate. Now I want to share one more thing, if that's okay.
you.
Just the Black Broadway Men part.
Please.
That's something that was inspiring me back in 2020. I started Black Broadway Men with a group of incredible men, and we got the principles of it, which is unity, strength, and legacy. It's a 501c3 nonprofit that celebrates, educates, and motivates Black men of the Broadway and theater community by creating unity with each other, finding strength through educational opportunities, and embracing the legacy of those that have come before us, because we're the legacy for those to come after us. And so it's not, our motto is every Black man in theater is a Black Broadway man. Because everyone wasn't born with the equity card. But that
Right.
doesn't mean that just because you are not on Broadway or have not been on Broadway, that doesn't mean that you haven't gone through similar experiences or the same things that I've gone through having been on Broadway. It doesn't make me any different than someone who hasn't been. Like maybe there's somebody who's in like bumfuck North Dakota who's in a small barn theater who's still feeling the same way that I have felt, and maybe the only Black person in the show. And so it is a space for us to connect and to commune and to build and uplift and inspire each other. And so we have a mentorship program. We have playwriting initiatives. We just did something called the Hinton Battle Day of Dance. So if you want to go to dayofdanceny.com, you can see that we uplifted Hinton Battle's story. So find out more about him. And we did a day of classes at Open Jar Studios here where we did ballet, tap, jazz, Horton, and Fosse. It was all free for anybody who wanted to come. But those are all things that Hinton Battle has, he grew up doing those things. So we just want to celebrate his legacy. And we give out scholarships from the Fosse, like the Fosse Foundation and BDC, and we connected with Steps. And it's just been beautiful with Vivian Reed, her coaching that she's been able to do. And so it's been a beautiful journey. So I'm really grateful to be able to have that and to do that work with Stephanie Pope and Lofgren and T. Oliver Reed.
You took the through the tumultuous past few years or forever, really, you took this journey and you speak out publicly about it, and you have fellowship and create programming and help the next generation and honor the past generation. Is that leadership that I'm talking about? Like you don't just sit around. Like you started something to make things better. You started work to make work for you and to tell stories. And that's what I wish. I'm in NJPAC right now in Newark, New Jersey, teaching musical theater. We just finished what I want my students to know is like, create it. Like, this is it, create it.
Yeah. And also too, I tell students too, if you can't create it, be a part of the story, uplift other people. And also being on stage may not be the only thing to do. You can write it, you can produce it, you can direct it, you can do the music, you can do the lights, the sets, the costumes, the hair, the makeup, you can do anything, the sound, like the opportunities are endless. So, everybody has an opportunity. There's space for everyone if you just do the work and figure out where your heart lies.
So where can we support and be a part of your charitable organizations and Black Men of Broadway?
Thank you for that. You can go to blackbroadwaymen.org, literally blackbroadwaymen.org, and then you can just donate there and be a part there.
We'll put the link below. We'll put the link underneath it so that you can get the information and people can donate. You can see the events that are coming up. You can follow that. Also, we'll put all the links below us if you're listening to us on the podcast network. If you're watching us on YouTube, go to the comment section below and we'll have all the links.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure being here with you, and thank you so much.
Oh, please. Are you kidding? Thank you so much for being here. We are fans. We are fans of the whole experience.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to experiencing with you, and we'll see you all soon. Hopefully see you
Monday.
Yes.
Monday. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Robert. Have a great day, y'all.